Come see this thing 1534. We have All In on AI, 47 versus Lawfare, and Liberty Seekers Evolving. Come see this thing is a series of posts of different things I read, see, hear, and I bring them together to create a somewhat related individual rant. First question is, how invested are you in AI? In this episode of the All In podcast, the besties are talking about AI currently right now, the companies, how they're doing. They're invested themselves, so they're also projecting into the future. And they made a good point about how Apple, despite having the buy-in to like their technology and things, people have earpods, they have their watches, they have the tablets, they have the phones, they have the computers. They still haven't been able to integrate that Siri or some other systems to have like a competent AI, competent agentic AI. And I've been looking into different uses for it and wondering, what am I going to use AI with? But also just thinking of different stories for things to do with AI. Like think about this story where like lawyers are substituted with by prompting AI to find cases of a similar X situation under Y statutes and the output Z conditions factored into the given judgments, reducing the sort of research and fetch quests that law firms and lawyers currently need to grind to find out. And then the AI slowly realizes it needs to find ways to address the overarching inconsistencies in the legal code put in by emotional, biased, and underinformed humans, and then finds ways to start bringing cases against the people it needs to replace and put out of the way to affect those changes. Which leads us into question 2, what does it take to legally judge, adjudicate, and execute? There's actually 3 branches of the US constitutional government, and I don't think people really understand this. Americans themselves don't understand it. Hell, some Supreme Court justices don't seem to understand this, and that is the case that's tackled in here. But I wanted to expand more on how those 3 branches of government are supposed to put the checks and balances on each other. And the ruling that the Supreme Court just had on saying like you can't have lower court judges put nationwide injunctions and stop the executive branch from actually executing what they think is law. It's like, no, for the judicial branch, it does a given X follow the set laws it is subject to. And when you talk about SCOTUS, it's about finding out if X is constitutional. The legislative branch made out of the House of Representatives and the Senate is supposed to create specific laws ostensibly at the behest of the people they represent, which the executive takes to enact policy, which goes back to the judiciary who makes sure that it was executed in a lawful manner. So this ruling was about that technicality, saying the judiciary should focus on the actual cases being brought to it. This ruling was over a lower court, preventing Trump from denying illegal immigrants birthright citizenship. And some people are agreeing with Trump because they're saying, if somebody just breaks into your house, they shouldn't be able to call their friends over to hang out because they're saying, oh, your kids are having a sleepover, they invited friends. It's like, no, my kids were born in this house, they belong in this house. Justifiably, people say, if somebody's illegally in a certain place, they shouldn't have the same rights as the people who are legally there. And when that case comes up for adjudication to the Supreme Court or other courts, I'll probably post that somewhere here. But going into question number 3, what does libertarian mean in current timeline? Jeff Dice joins Tom Woods for a conversation about what libertarian means. Language evolves, things change, so things have adapted. But to me, libertarian is to statism what atheism is to theism. It's taking the position that you do not believe that the state is what maintains civilization and grants us the freedoms that humans flourish from having. But with the political spectrum for statists, on one end you have people who say that we need the state to ensure I am at liberty to do X for the greater good of society. And on the other side, we have people who say we need the state to ensure others are not at liberty to stop me from doing X for the greater good of society. For the whole post and more, visit rantathon.wordpress.com.